All right, I want to get back to Tyreek Hill because I'm just so fascinated by the coverage I'm seeing of it, which is like, how dare anyone do anything to Tyreek Hill? You know, the person who has gotten away with everything. But when anyone does anything, it just might be, unfair to Tyreek Hill. Of course, it's an outrage. And the Dolphins, in the USA Today story I was reading this morning, were demanding full accountability from the police. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. You don't usually, these NFL teams don't really demand these sorts of things of their players when they screw up.
Yep.
I mean, in fact, they hide them very carefully.
Well, especially even Tyreek Hill. I mean, they've been the biggest supporters of him in his little incidents.
Oh, and his incidents, so we'll get into a little bit of that. But he's pulled over on the way to the Dolphins game. And from what I saw this morning, they're trying to get him to lower the window or open the door of the car. It sounds to me like it's one of those, I know my rights.
Yeah.
Because he won't roll down the window.
Well, he should have just held up his football card as a form of identification.
Well, that's really funny you said that, Mark, because he said, I don't name drop. No, it's not name dropping when you give the police your license.
ID? Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do. That's not name dropping.
Next time you get pulled over, I'm going to say that. I don't name drop.
Name dropping is when you're name dropping someone else, not yourself.
That's true. Yeah.
Sure.
That's
weird. He's not the best spoken guy.
What? Well,
although I could tell. Did you see any of his post game comments?
Yeah.
He was saying
I loved his post game outfit, by the way. It's a good look.
What was he wearing?
Just a wife beater tank top.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
he was saying things like, I don't want to get into that. I just want this to be a win for everybody. So I thought by saying that, I thought he was acknowledging that maybe he shares some of the blame for this. Mm-hmm. I think, and he did the handcuff move after the touchdown. So I don't think he was really upset.
No, I don't think it's that big a deal.
But
I think other people are making it a way bigger deal than even Tyreek Hill or the police are.
Yeah, the media was making a huge deal out of it. Like, someone may have done something that's not proper to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like he's the bastion of, as if he's been cheated out of so much in his life. Actually, the truth is, he's really a pretty bad character, and he just got in some shit, too. Not to mention the fact that in 2023, he had 4 children by 4 women, and he married his current wife at the beginning of 2023. He had 4 children.
Wow.
Can't marry all of them.
He just lost another paternity suit
pick one.
2 months ago. Mm-hmm. And I guess he'd made arrangements to pay her $2,000 a month, but unfortunately that's going to be bumped up quite a bit, according to the court hearing he just had. So, there's nothing wrong with there's nothing illegal about having a ton of kids by a ton of women. No. That's not a big deal. But
get your own team.
But I think he knows more than he's saying because I think we're going to find out. Well, I don't know if we'll find out. And if the police did anything wrong, and they may have, certainly they should be disciplined. I'm not saying that he wasn't a victim at all, but it looks to me like he wouldn't open the window. And I think he was driving really, really fast.
Yeah, me too. Just based on the car itself.
What's he driving?
It's a Porsche.
That's funny you say that because did you see the Odell Beckham Jr. portion of the story?
Was he making comments about the car, how fast it is?
So OBJ just pulls up, and he's like, what's going on here? And Calais Campbell had to tell him what's happening. And ODB goes, hey, ask them if they know what a 720S is. The bitch go fast. That's a quote. The bitch go fast.
That's a good excuse, though. It only goes fast.
Oh, yeah. So you can't not help but to speed.
Sure.
I can't help thinking he was going really, really fast because he got a ticket for speeding and for reckless driving. So he's probably driving really fast and maybe didn't pull over right away. And when that happens and they get to the car, they want your fucking license. And I've watched enough cop cams. I consider myself a police consultant. I've watched enough cop cams. I'm almost a police officer, actually.
You have cop pants.
Well, I do have a lot of cop pants, true. When they pull you over and you pull the I know my rights thing, which I have a feeling he just wanted them to go away. He just probably didn't say anything.
Yeah, he was on his way to the game.
But when you do not obey a lawful order, which asking for your license is, especially when you've committed reckless driving and a speeding ticket, they will pull you out of the car a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I normally see is and they'll tell you multiple times that I'm going to pull you out of the car if you don't get out of the car. And then usually when they're forced to do it, they will cuff the person. But it looked to me like he got on the ground somehow, so I don't know how that happened. And if somebody knocked him down or something, that's bullshit.
The South Florida Police Benevolent Association, I guess that's the union for them. Mm-hmm. They released what they said happened, and the reason he ended up on the ground is because they asked him to sit down, and he refused to sit down, and that's when they say he was, quote, redirected to the ground. That's when
Redirected.
That's when he was put onto the ground. And I think that seems to be what people have a big issue with, is just the visual of him being thrown or being put.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going on. All that we know is that 25 dolphins are there who pulled over and they go, "This is outrageous. How could anything be done to the perfect Tyreek Hill? Surely he didn't do anything wrong."
Yeah.
And everyone believes them because they're really big and they run really fast.
But they're saying because he was already cuffed and just standing there, they didn't need to, I don't know what protocol is.
Oh, well,
But he's not even mad about it, so why do other people care?
No, I think he knows that he was probably doing something a little kooky, driving a little too fast. But anyway, the story says that he was unsure why he was detained and that he was forcibly touched.
Well, he would know about that.
You know who wanted to
It's
be?
not even his quote. It's someone else.
You know who wanted to be forcibly touched yesterday after that Brown's abortion? It's Deshaun Watson was looking pretty bummed
awful.
out.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
not
bad.
going so well. But anyway, as far as Tyreek Hill automatically getting the benefit of the doubt, I just find this, it's so funny to me. How can you not gingerly report that story, or at least suggest that maybe there's two sides and maybe the police were 100% in the wrong? But I think to just assume that something terrible has been done to Tyreek Hill without him having anything to do with it is a little insane.
Especially knowing his track record.
Yeah. And then he did say a couple things that would have really annoyed me. What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? It's crazy.
You wouldn't be in that car.
Yeah, exactly. If he wasn't Tyreek Hill, he might be in prison, to be honest.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But he says, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? It's crazy. I want to be a cop one day. I have a state trooper hat.
That's like you and your cop pants.
What? I have a state trooper hat?
That's like you saying I have cop pants.
But let's examine what if he wasn't Tyreek Hill, because like I said, every report that I've seen insists that or suggests that he was wrong in some awful way. But if you remember, in 2014, he choked his 8 weeks pregnant girlfriend, punched her in the stomach, punched her in the face, felony domestic assault. It was, I forgot what the plea arrangement, and it ended up being a much smaller, maybe a misdemeanor. Then 2018, he lost custody of his child, and he and his wife were investigating him for battery on his 3-year-old son who had a broken arm. Mm-hmm. And they ended up saying, there's no proof. And his attorneys, you should see his attorney's statements during all this. It's really fucking annoying, honestly. But then a Kansas City TV station released a recording of Tyreek and his baby mama where Tyreek says, you do use a belt. Even my mama says you use a belt. And then the baby mama says, but he's terrified of you. And then Tyreek Hill's answer to that is, you need to be terrified of me too, bitch.
You need to be terrified of me too.
And anyway, they end up saying that doesn't prove anything. So the charges ended up being dropped, and Tyreek Hill's comment was, it's a positive day. Which it was. No discipline, no fine, no suspension, no nothing. And, the kid had a broken arm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
jeez.
I remember when people went apeshit over Adrian Peterson using a switch on his kid's
Yep.
ass.
Yep.
Why was that a bigger deal than this? I don't understand that.
I don't either. I don't get that.
Tyreek runs faster, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. All day, AD, he was pretty damn good when he had the switch issue.
He was. But I think he was on the downside of his career, maybe.
By the way, when Tyreek had that happen in 2014 when he was at Oklahoma State, they actually did kick him off the team.
Yeah, they
which
did.
Kind of surprising. So it just shows you how serious it is for them to kick somebody off
it was
the team.
really bad. Then 2023, he hit a guy at a marina. And the story there is that 2 women in Tyreek Hill's party boarded a dock boat, and the captain was pissed off because he hadn't been paid yet. So Tyreek hit him and said, I can buy you and the boat. I'm number 10 of the Miami Dolphins.
And I have a police hat.
You need to be terrified of me too.
State trooper hat.
State trooper hat.
There were no charges. There was a settlement, apparently. And then in February, and this story has gotten almost no attention, Sophie Hill sued Tyreek Hill saying he broke her leg. Their kid, or Tyreek, was having a camp of some kind, and her kid was there. And anyway, Tyreek ends up in her DMs because he finds out she's this influencer. Mm-hmm. What'd you say, plus-size influencer?
Model, yeah.
But it's not like plus size. She's just a larger woman. She's got quite a build.
She's 6'1", 250.
250.
6'1"?
God, she doesn't look 250, does she?
What, do you think she's smaller
Well,
than that?
I think he fucked her. I think he thought she was hot. I don't think there was any doubt.
My favorite part about the story is that she held her own against him in the drills.
Yeah, I don't think that's really what
She
happened.
is.
Yeah, she looks great. I mean, you would never think someone weighing 250 could look that
She doesn't
good.
look 250, does she?
I love the swimsuit that looks like a beach ball because it goes with the overall theme.
Look at that toe there. She looks a little more 250 there.
She does. But anyway,
Did you see that toe?
I did.
he invited her for the weekend.
See my toe.
And so she went down to spend the weekend with Tyreek Hill, and they met again through her son being in his football camp. So Tyreek says, I got to teach you how to be an offensive guard. If your son's going to be an offensive guard, you need to understand this. So they go out and they're playing around, and she apparently playfully, blocked him really hard, just goofing around, and she knocked him down, and she said he was furious, enraged, charged at her full speed and tackled her and fractured her leg.
Oh, God.
And then this is the worst part. He refused to call 911 and refused to take her to the hospital because he said she was fine. She just needed ice. So she had ice on her leg, and she said she was in screaming pain for hours until finally, I guess, a friend picked her up or something, and she had surgery the next day.
Ooh.
So she is suing Tyreek, whose attorney says, I'm demanding this suit be dismissed. The plaintiff consented to participating in a sports activity that involved contact, and thus there was a good faith basis to believe plaintiff was aware contact would be involved. And then he goes on to explain that the plaintiff tripped over a dog.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Tyreek's fault. NFL and the Dolphins, no comment. And then he had a house fire when his 4-year-old was playing with a lighter.
Right.
That was a few months ago. And then the outcome of that was that Tyreek Hill was not mad at himself. He was mad at Rick Ross.
Yeah, that was
who was
Rick Ross
recording.
was citizen reporter.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Loved it.
Why was he so mad? I forgot why he was so mad.
He was mad that he
was showing his house
decided
on
to
fire,
live
yeah.
stream his pain, basically.
Oh, yeah, he was getting off on Tyreek's house being on fire, which he was. He absolutely
It
was.
wasn't the greatest report either, just saying.
No, not
Didn't see
really.
anything that was going on.
So anyway, I was looking up the kids thing today, and there's really no clear number. It just, a couple of stories said he has 10 plus children.
Oh, wow.
The baby
Hey,
mamas.
Tyreek, how many kids you have? I don't know, 10 plus. What kind of
baby-
answer is that?
The number of baby mamas range from 4 to 7, depending on what you read.
Oh,
There's
wow.
just really no way of knowing this.
Well, he doesn't know, so why would anybody else know?
Yeah, I have a feeling he knows because I have a feeling they're all getting paid. And
Are they, though?
The new one was getting $2,000 a month, and she's going to get over $10,000 a month. It's said, but they hadn't figured out a perfect number yet. He makes a shit ton of money, but boy, I tell you, that can go fast when you have 11 kids. In 2023, the funniest thing I saw about this was the 4 women who were all suing for paternity. 3 of them had pictures of their infants in number 10 Dolphin shirts in the story.
I saw that picture. It was really funny.
And one of them had changed her name to Hill.
Wow. Jeez.
And 2 of them, I think the kid was named Tyreek.
That'd be great if they all make the NFL.
Yeah.
That would be pretty
They all
cool.
dominate at the same time.
But they're
all
all
the
on the
same age.
Dolphins.
2 years, 1 year, 2 decades from now.
So, what an idiotic story.
One of the Hill offsprings has to buy the number 10 jersey off the other Hill offspring.
Hey, there's his. Are those
Oh, there
5
you go.
of his kids are all wearing number 10?
Yeah.
They're with him, though. He's hanging with them.
See? Oh, good father. Very attentive.
He
That's just
says he
5.
loves his kids. I tend to believe him. I think he's sincere, but I just think he goes off. Well,
Well, I think
occasionally.
Tyreek's the most important thing in Tyreek's life.
Pretty clearly, yeah.